I needed a break, and I made the mistake of watching this movie called Legion of Superheroes of 2023 animated feature film. You know, this is like you can buy this shit or you can stream it and whatnot and fuck your mind up. I want to say, man, that there's really no entertainment left for boys unless, we bring back the independent scene. We really need to bring back the independent scene and shit, okay? There's no decent entertainment out there for young men, for young boys, okay, of all races, okay? All peoples and shit, okay? I get to say that for once, all right? I get to do something that's not skewed towards my own particular ethnic group and shit. I'm disgusted and whatnot. I'm disgusted with this shit. The tone deaf writing and, the bullshit. All the tired, boring tropes and shit of feminist writing and shit. They make this, the lead character in this, I guess it's Supergirl. They make her insufferable, okay? She's insufferable. She's everything negative that people are railing about and shit in today's modern society and shit, okay, as far as women go, okay? And I hate to use the dreaded F word, but, this is a all the way feminist production and shit, okay? Men take the background and shit. And that's just not even really my only complaint shit. It's tone deaf, it's racist in certain parts and shit, I'm gonna be honest, you guys want to call yourself social justice warriors. So I'm gonna give this a social justice review and shit, okay? This movie is extremely fucking racist, okay? Straight up. I'm a straight black man, okay? Yeah, I know my word don't mean shit to outside of my own ethnic group and shit, and even within that, I am a I'm an embattled ethnic person and shit, okay? As you minority majorities well know. All right, this movie convinces me that we need to have more independent entertainment. All right, we need that because it's a mess out there. Hollywood has fallen. All right, now I want to tell the feminists over there, whoever's running this shit, whoever came up, how you guys, I don't know how you guys had like the Last Supper dinner and shit of negativity, and came up with this, this programming and shit, all of this bullshit. I want to tell you, man, you guys are losers, okay? I don't care how much money you got, or status, or anything. You guys are fucking losers and shit. You don't create anything new. You don't create anything new and shit. All you do is overwrite things that already exist and put your spin on it and shit. You rape it. Okay, you rape the intellectual properties and you mutilate them and you pervert it and shit. You turn it into an abomination and shit. And it's funny because, hey, audience, I actually sound like one of the villains in this movie and shit. In this animated feature. I sound like one of the villains. Okay, Supergirl's the main character and shit. All right, the co-main character is Brainiac 5 and shit. The descendant of Brainiac, who's a Superman villain and shit. Okay, all right, and he's the non-black love interest that she has, and almost asexual to a certain degree. You know, and the other men in the movie don't fare much better. The best character, and he's rarely seen, is like fucking Batman. Okay, because you can't really fuck with Batman because there's like so much backlash and shit. And I know somewhere in Hollywood they're sitting up trying to figure out how to make a gay Batman and Superman love movie or something. I know they're doing that. I know that. Man, these goddamn feminists, they don't know how to make shit. All right? When I was in school back in the day, one of the going in jokes was you never dated like art chicks, because they inherently neurotic and shit, and they had so many sticks up their ass and shit more than the national parks. They had so much sticks up their ass, and they were just no fun to be around. They were spazzed out, and they had weird issues and shit. And I see that all over this. All right, this is a mess. This is a mess of a film and shit. Now, all the people involved should be flogged with cat o' nine tails and have while their heads are in a stock in public. All right. So this is a DC movie production and shit. It's a absolute failure. I don't know how this got out and shit. These days Warner Brothers has like a new head, like David Zaslav. I guess he just wasn't paying attention. This got past him. This got past James Gunn for some reason, and it's the same old shit. Okay. Supergirl's character is insufferable. There's nothing about her. She's aggressive. She's masculine and shit. They show her backstory and they delete her. They don't even mention that she has a father. Okay, it's just when they show her in the backstory as a younger person, it's her and her butch mother, and then they have uncomfortable. It's animation, but they have uncomfortable looking scene structure. Okay, like the way they pose them in the scenes, it doesn't look like her mother's her mother. It looks like her mother's like, it looks like a gay relationship. They're like uncomfortably close and they pose her in weird poses. And then they have her mother like, grabbing her and cuddling with her and shit on a bench in the park. And, it's just weird shit, man. It's weird they never mentioned Supergirl's father. Okay, and they barely mentioned Jor-El, and they actually had the mother of Supergirl whisper his name. And it's like not even his name. They didn't want to say his name because feminists are racist against people that have other life forms that have a penis and shit, okay? They hate that shit. Okay, and I want to still say this. I want to say feminists are like, the next level clan. This is racist shit, okay? I know some people want to just watch a Supergirl movie. Hey, if you're a blue chick, blue haired feminist who just extreme as fuck and you think you're the shit, you think you're the master race or something, this is the movie for you. But I want to tell you, assholes, that you don't build nothing, okay? You just you trace, okay? You're tracers, okay? All right, like they say in the comic book industry, people draw the comics with a they used to draw the comics with a pencil, and then somebody would come behind them and ink this shit. And they used to call them tracers and shit, and they would get mad about it. Okay? You're tracers of society. Okay? You don't build nothing. All right? All you do is pervert everything. You destroy and pervert. We understand that a lot of pop culture is propaganda and shit. But this is overt and whatnot. It speaks to your mental degradation and shit. You've degraded. You guys are retarded. Okay? You're like that movie The Matrix, like The Matrix Reloaded, Agent Smith. When that one Agent Smith, the Hugo Weaving character, he was going around overwriting himself on other characters, so he was cloning himself. That's what feminism is today in pop culture and entertainment. All over the place. All the men are stupid in this movie. Every last one of them. They even have and it's the whole diversity inclusion thing. But when you see a black person, like the one other black character, I saw a black character in there, and the motherfucker was just like going out of his way to be asexual. He's like, "Hey, everyone!" Ah, he's like jumping in place and shit. And then when they showed the black woman, she still had a weave on. They had this character called Triplicate Girl, and she talked like a fake, like a black chick that was faking a white girl accent and was hyper talking. I don't know what if the character that did a voice was white or not. I don't know. I don't know, but it's a character. They gave them all shitty powers. Supergirl that has Superman's powers. They had the guy named Mon-El who was a white supremacist. He had Superman's kind of powers and shit. Brainiac was the colored love interest who was asexual, and at one point he's just telling her, heaping all this praise upon her. You're the greatest and goddess of the universe, and blah blah blah. And I don't know if it's just because the chick that wrote it's probably gay, probably a lesbian or something, or probably like she never went on a date or she never had any good relationships. So she thinks that's what a good relationship is. She wants that shit that like, women that are, forcibly female incels want to hear told to them and shit that no guy's gonna tell them and shit, you know. At least not earned and shit, okay? If you get my drift. Yeah, man. I don't know what to make of it. I have two children, and one's an adult already. The other one's a kid, and he's not interested in this kind of stuff. Okay, he's not interested in shit. I monitor what he looks at and everything. Okay, thankfully, I'm not stupid. Okay, I habitually talk to him about what he's looking at and look at the shit he's looking at, and I oversee it and shit, and I block things that I think is appropriate. So I would block this movie. I wouldn't recommend this movie for anybody that wants to, doesn't want the kid looking at propaganda shit, feminist propaganda, like retarded feminist propaganda. Okay, this is like how feminist shit go. Okay, they take a male property or they take any kind of property, and they make the lead a woman. Okay, and then all the men in there they emasculate, they castrate them and shit, and make them cuckolds to the woman and shit. Yes, I'm using that term. It applies. Okay, and the guy can only look in wonderment as the woman does the greatest shit. She's the best as ever. When I saw Supergirl flying with holding Brainiac like a female and shit, I just chuckled to myself. That was the least offensive thing in a movie and shit. Movie's extremely racist. You can especially like you're a black person and she watching this, and like one of the characters literally goes into like what could only be determined as a white supremacist diatribe and shit. He's like, "Oh, some people don't deserve to be here. They're just here as out of pity." So basically saying they're affirmative action hire. I'm like, damn. I thought they were banning like what they call, what they a lot of they what they call critical race theory and shit, right? But they're teaching this bullshit on the sly, or at least they think they are. Yeah, yeah. The villains of this movie are just basically white supremacists and the patriarchy. More white supremacy and shit. And most of the men are neutered. Okay, Superman's in this movie. He doesn't act like Superman. He's just like this. Well, Carver, what do you want to do? And she's like totally bitchy, and she doesn't act like she's related to Superman. She's all like standoffish and bitter. And they had her at one point, and like early in the film, they have her dressed in civilian clothes. And I knew that whoever did this movie hadn't been laid in years. Okay, hadn't been laid. They didn't know how to make her dress. They didn't dress her right. And everything. They literally dressed her like the character from American Tail. They dressed her like a humanoid blonde version of Five-O, the mouse from American Tail and shit. I thought it was ridiculous. So yeah, 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 white supremacy and shit. Brainiac was the proxy for a black person in a white man's world, a majority white world. Because they were saying shit like, "Oh, his kind shouldn't be here. We know you did." Like somebody was gonna steal. Somebody stole some shit, and they put him in jail. And he's in there, and then like Supergirl went to see him because she's a liberal and shit. She's not like the patriarchy, so she goes to see the colored neutered cuck Brainiac 5 and shit in his jail cell. And he's like, "Why do you come here?" "Because I believe you, because you're not a white man." This is horrible, man. It's horrible. I just tell you, feminists, man. I don't know what to say. I can't heap enough insults on you. Insults, excuse me. Don't call Gloria Allred. This movie is trash. Trash, I tell you.